All right, it says we're live, so we're live. We're just going to take Facebook's word for it.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday afternoon. This live is supposed to take place this morning, but we were having some major technical issues, and here we are. So I hope for those of you who tried to watch earlier, you'll catch this live now or watch today. My name is Hanna Olivas. I am one of the CEO and founders of She Rises Studios, and I'm here today with the lovely Alicia Marcos Birong, and she is from Chatter Girls. And we're going to talk to you today about we're going to talk about our young women. So this is a message to the moms and the dads who are raising little girls into little women, into grown women. And we're going to talk about the sky is not the limit. And we're going to talk about educating our future young women leaders to break barriers that society has set upon them. So I'm going to let Alicia talk and just kind of give you her background a little bit, and then we'll have a nice conversation. And feel free
Okay.
to comment below. We love answering questions and interacting with you. So,
Yes. Yeah, very much. Thank you, Hannah. I'm Alicia Marcus Birong. I am the creator of a program called Chatter Girls. And I wrote that program to celebrate each young girl's uniqueness and for them to have an opportunity to celebrate it as they are young women and continue that as older women, as some of us are. So, I've been a life coach for 25 years, a hypnotherapist, a therapist. I've worked with women. I've worked with children and girls, and I know that some of the challenges that I faced and other girls face in childhood. Don't have to be taken into adulthood if we begin the work now with our young girls. And, that's just, it's such an important part for parents to understand because, everybody, I remember listening to people when my daughter was growing up and go, oh, she'll get over that by the time she's 13 or 16. Stop. She needs to get over it now, or she needs to change it, or she needs to decide that she's unique, she's special, and she doesn't have to listen to what everybody else says who she is. She gets to be the person she wants to be at 8 and 12 and 16 and 40 and 50. So that's the reality of, you know, who we are and who we are bringing into this world. Hannah, we know that it's been a challenging couple of years, and I believe our kids have taken the brunt of it. And, the things that they're used to have completely changed. Just how they are able to talk to their friends. There's no body language. We got a telephone in between them or an iPad being able to talk to them. But you don't always see those real emotions of what's going on during those calls. And, the kids got dropped into that world, into the e-learning, and some of them lost who they were. And instead, we replaced it with depression, anxiety, stress. So it sounds very familiar what we got for the adults too.
yes.
But it really affected our kids, and we need to serve them now so they don't take it into their adulthood. This generation will be very, very different from any because of COVID. Very, very different.
So would you say, because you're the expert, I'm a parent, I have 5 kids and 2 grandkids, and I was blessed with boys and girls.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 girls, 2 boys. And I would say from a parent's perspective, especially with my daughters, their development is really in full fledged, I feel, between the ages of 6 and 9. That's where I feel like they're stepping into who they are, their personality, their strengths, their likes, their dislikes. And, we as parents, of course, we always focus on, inspiring them and telling them, the sky is the limit. How many times have you been told by someone the sky is the limit? But at the same time, like you said, it's a different generation. And our kids are faced with no connection. It's all device. It's all social media, and we know that there is a severe issue with bullying online and suicide rates, anxiety, depression, all those things that you've talked about. And I'm here to tell parents that it is a reality that happens to a lot of children across the world. And these issues can start as early as 5, sometimes even sooner. So, what we're teaching our kids and I don't like to use the word drill, but what we're filling them with really matters on so many levels. If you're constantly putting your child on a pedestal and expecting perfection, 9 times out of 10, you're really setting your child up to go backwards instead of allowing them to grow in the journey. And so when we say the sky is the limit, I always tell my youngest, who's 9, the sky is not the limit. It is not. You are the limit, meaning you, yourself, Sophia Marie, you put limitations on what you can and cannot do. And so I feel like if we're teaching and reaching these young women at a younger age and showing them what empowerment is, what inspiration is, what that chatter is that you talk about so eloquently, and how to decipher good chatter from bad chatter, not believing in society's opinion of you, teaching our young women and our little girls that it's their opinion and it doesn't mean it's true. If somebody says you're ugly, that's their opinion. That doesn't mean it's true. So I feel like we need to focus on setting these girls up and putting them in their little Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl and preparing them to go out into the world and be strong, be equipped, and be an inspiration and empowered. And when they do that, what happens? It's like a domino effect. It rubs off on others. And that's the tone I feel like we as parents need to take on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. That's just my little nugget, just my opinion as a parent. I could be wrong, but that's what happens in this house.
But you're not wrong. And when I wrote Chatter Girls, one of the things that I really did, I had already worked with kids and women, but one of the things that I really did was I researched, but that was 10 years ago. So the research now comes down to your numbers. What they were saying before, that confidence is developed between 8 and 14. Now our society has shifted, and now it is being developed by 6. Do they have the tools at 6 to necessarily work through it? Some of them do, but those tools can be taught in ways that they understand. A tool that I teach a 6-year-old. I was on a call with a 6-year-old just a little while ago, and she had an anxiety issue. But the reality is, when I taught her a tool of do this, anchor this, whatever, she had her power in herself to fix it, and she didn't have to listen to what everybody else was telling her. She realized this was her issue. She didn't like it anymore. She wanted to let it go. So there are many tools that we can develop for those children depending on their age groups. If we don't, what I've seen is that our high school kids zoom through high school and completely have shut down their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
And so they just zoom through it. They hit college and oh my gosh. Okay. But I've also seen that girl that's gone through Chatter Girls who goes to high school, is outgoing, standing in front of people, barely could ever talk before. And it's like they have a better, more exciting experience of life. And they're going to be the chairwoman of that business. And they're going to run the show. It's going to make all the difference in the world.
I agree. So, with the program that you've developed and you've worked with these young girls for years, I'm on the receiving end. I'm learning from you. We took Sophia through the Chatter Girls program, and I probably will have her do it 10 more times because I find such value in it. But if we're going to equip these young little girls, these young women into strong women in the adult world, then we have to start young, and we have to help them build the foundation that they need. And I think a lot of us as parents are in the hustle and bustle of life, and we depend on we depend on devices to bide our children's time, when really what it is we need to really talk to our kids openly, honestly, about real things that are happening in school. And I'll take you for existence and for a point. They're high school girls. They are subjected to so much more than when I was in high school. I can't even believe to fathom some of the things that I've seen and heard. And there's a show out called Euphoria. And as blatant as that show is, those issues exist.
Yep.
And so what I feel like what you're doing is you're taking a hold of these girls and you're teaching them to change the narrative and to control a new narrative for them. And so maybe you could share one or two tips on what that looks like, for these young girls. And we don't want to keep everybody too long. We try to be a respecter of time and end at 15 minutes. But if you can share a couple of tips, one or two, and just let us moms and dads know, hey, this is something that may or may not help you, but you can always try.
That's right. And so one of the biggest tips is learn to listen. That's the most important part for parents these days. We have our phone on, we have the music going, we have all this. And then we look at our child and they have the same things going on. Mm-hmm. You have to have a time where you listen to that child. I don't care if it's driving from one place to the next. You have to ask the questions. And when they give you the answers, fine, turn it around to them and say, well, what was fine about it? Because my daughter always told me, Mother, when I give you the answer fine, it means I don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Reality is there's an issue there then. And so, when I do my Chatter Girl program, I actually give parents ways to be able to talk to their daughters so that when they ask the children about the experience, they know that they can go beyond fine. Okay. So listening is a big one. The other thing is parents have a time in your day, and especially in your child's day, that it is without noise. Okay. Find a time for journaling. You talked about the journal that we've written to go with Chatter Girls and go outside of Chatter Girls, to be able to allow them to think about what is going on and write about it or draw about it. Give them a quiet time. Most of the kids that I work with, my suggestion, whether they're boys or girls, you go and you say, okay, when you come in through this door from school, put your bag down. Have your snack.
Mm-hmm.
Then write down everything that upsets you during that day. Let it go before you go into the homework. We found that if they journal before they do homework and they give homework another hour or so later, they are more successful in their grades. Okay? Because they've heard all the chatter. They've heard the nasty remarks. They've heard everything that they took all that information in a short amount of time. Their head is ready to blow. But in there, a lot of times, is that negative information. I believe journaling and quietness or quiet background music is one of the most effective ways that we can give our children an opportunity to listen to themselves, to understand what their mind is saying. And if it's saying negative stuff, the next time we talk, we'll talk about what to do with that negative talk. Okay?
I love that. So listen and quiet time.
Journaling.
And journaling. I love those. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna post how to find Alicia and the Chatter Girls page and movement. For those of you who have any questions regarding your little girls, our young little women, reach out to her because she is an expert in her field. You're going to be seeing a lot more of her on a weekly basis. And if you have questions concerning anything that we talked about today, you can forward it to her. You can ask me, however we can. But the point is that we want to set a different narrative for our young little girls to become, thriving, amazing young women and grown women. And that starts at a very young age. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you, Alicia, for coming on. And as I said, we had some issues earlier with technical difficulties, but we are on every Wednesday. And thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, please reach out and follow her on all of her social media platforms. We'll put that in the comments below. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you. Have an amazing day.
Too. Bye.
Bye.